This episode of the Shay and Wilson Show was really long, so it's broken up into parts. Each part will be labeled by topics covered, so you consume it all at your leisure.
Everybody, I'm Wilson, this is Shay, and you have nothing else to do.
Joining us again are Kyle and Tim Tam.
Hello.
Hello.
Tim Tam being our one-woman graphics department, Kyle being our quote-unquote Reddit correspondent. Oh, that's a tongue-in-cheek title. And this time we are having the two of them.
We're still in talks about a more official title.
He's negotiating his contract details.
Yeah.
You want to cut that 30 seconds of silence out in the post edit?
Dude, actually, you can't tell from like episode 2, but there's so much editing in episode 2. You have no idea how much is cut out. Like, I admit, it sounds so natural. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
It went really well. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, this is the Shay and Wilson Show, pat our own backs edition.
That's like every edition. Okay, everyone pick a number.
2.
19.
Okay, so you're 4. I pick 1.
All right.
All right, so I'll...
Then I pick 3.
I want 3.
I rolled, and it came out 3, so Wilson's first.
Fuck, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that shit was going to happen. I don't even have any topics. I knew that shit was going to happen.
You can wing it, man. You can wing it.
Oh, man, how long do I have to wing it for?
Dude, you're an experienced podcast host now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. We have 4 and some pre-jack episodes. All right. Jeez, I really didn't plan for this. Does anybody watch Breaking Bad?
No.
No.
I've heard of it. It's about a guy who's like a chemist who becomes a meth dealer, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll give you the synopsis. It's actually a very good show, and I recommend it very highly. But I'm not the only one who does. It's pretty widely regarded. Basically, it's about.
I like how he had to put that in there. He had to put in the. Oh, by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean,
watches.
I figure what's my opinion worth, but it's about a chemistry teacher who realizes or finds out he's been diagnosed with lung cancer, I believe it is, and basically terminal, that sort of thing. So he realizes he's basically just going to leave his family behind with debt and not a lot else. So with what he expects to be the last few months of his life, he takes to dealing meth, or not dealing, but making meth with an old student of his who, basically is already in the meth dealing game. And it's basically what it is a really good look at a good man turning evil over the process of a few seasons, turning into just a bad guy. At first it's a good guy doing bad things, but as it goes on, you really start to question if there's even anything really good left about him.
How far along? Like, are you up to date with it, or?
Yeah, I'm up to date. They're starting the 5th season, or the 5th season's first episode comes out.
5 seasons? God, how do people watch shows that long?
Oh, I'm actually a big fan of that kind of stuff. I like the whole organized crime thing.
Me too. But like, I'm used to like an anime who's 12 episodes long, maybe 24 episodes. They want to be crazy a little bit.
No, I was into The Sopranos. I'm keeping up on Boardwalk Empire.
I just can't watch TV that much, man. I just can't take an interest in it. It's really weird. TV and movies, anime, yes, but TV and movies for some reason. Unless it's like Korean variety shows. I'm all about Korean variety shows.
That's an obscure thing to like, I think.
Family outing, shout out.
But yes, very highly recommended. It's a very interesting show. I'm not really doing it justice with my description, but it's got a lot of quotable lines. I mean, go watch any freaking link of it on YouTube and read the comments, and you'll see that there's tons of people who just love the show to bits. A lot of fun to watch. What else is there to talk about?
I wanted to talk about horror gaming. As anyone who's talked to me about gaming, I had to sit through my rant about horror gaming. I fucking love horror anything, like horror movies, horror games, with the stipulation that it's actually fucking scary. I'm not talking about that gore slasher shit. I'm not talking about that fucking like. I'm talking about beautiful storytelling that is creepy and unnerving, and the fucking the Holy Grail is Silent Hill 2 for me. That is like, it was emotional. It was really deep. There were like the multiple endings were like incredibly. Every character had so much to it. Even the boss designs, the monster designs were so thoughtful, and you just don't see that even in the Silent Hill genre anymore. It's such a piece of shit now, and the fucking genre as a whole is such a piece of shit. And it's just like it's so sad. Like people play like Dead Space and they talk about Dead Space. Like fucking Dead Space. I played Dead Space. It was like it was Call of Duty with pieces of flesh with claws. Like what the fuck?
Wait till Dead Space 3.
What about Dead Space 3?
It's gonna be basically Call of Duty without anything.
Yeah, fuck them in the face.
They're homogenizing.
Oh. All right, I'll chime in. Basically, when it comes to the whole horror thing, I am exactly the opposite.
You're a total
I
pussy,
am-
we know. But anyway,
Absolutely,
Oh,
absolutely incapable of watching anything to do with horror. Can't
what
even be
about
in the
playing?
same
What about
room
playing
as-
things that have to do with horror?
Only if it's probably like the stuff you don't like. It has to be the kind of game where you can get good enough that you can like kill everything. But the whole
But the thing
feeling
is, in
powerless
Silent Hill,
thing,
you can kill everything. It's just really, really hard and really stupid to try.
so that's what I mean. The whole feeling powerless thing, not a fan of it.
Then where's the horror? It's not horror then.
Exactly. I'm not a fan of it. I don't understand why people want to.
I mean,
I
it was
think-
it was such it grabbed me so much when I was younger because like one of the first PlayStation games I ever played was Resident Evil 2, and that scared the fucking shit out of me as a kid. I was like, what the fuck? This is incredible. Like, because I was terrified. It was amazing. And then Silent Hill 2, like I said, is the holy grail. And then to see the genre now is actually really depressing. Like every now and then something will come out that gives you hope. Like one thing that was a really big, it was a buzz game was Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Oh, yeah.
I grabbed that when it first came out because all the reviews just like they hyped me up for it, and it was really scary. Like the gimmick is amazing. Like the gimmick is you cannot look directly at the monsters. You have to constantly avoid looking at them while trying to also avoid them and maneuver around them and hide. And
So
it's
they're,
like,
so they're like Slender Man.
yeah, kind of more or less. The thing is though, eventually the gimmick wears off, and once it wears off, like you're like, I don't even care about the puzzles anymore, even though the puzzles are clever. Once you're not scared out of your mind trying to rush through it, then you're just like, fuck this game. I quit like, I quit like halfway through maybe because by that point I wasn't scared anymore. I was like, fuck it, I'll just kick the monster in the face and run the other direction. That's the problem with the games these days. But now, there's this new game that it's an indie game called Slender. It's based on Slender Man.
Downloaded earlier.
I sent the link to you. Oh yeah, I downloaded it as well. I haven't installed it yet. It's supposed to be really promising. People say it's scary. However, people say a lot of things.
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to video games. Everyone's opinion but mine is total shit. I'm just saying.
hey Shay.
Yeah.
But on that, like, do you think it's just your censorship? Like, you're just immune to the scariness now? Is that a part of it?
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. I think I have a higher tolerance for it, so I demand more.
Yeah.
But I think it's also from exposure. I'm almost like seeking for it. But I do avoid stuff. Like I avoid slasher stuff because I get no enjoyment of seeing like a group of cheerleaders getting cut to pieces on a school trip. What the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
That's my thing with horrors. I'm not a big fan of like gore and blood. I like real fear of the unknown. Fear where you don't see what you're afraid of until the very last second.
Yeah, right. That's the essence of horror. Is like exploring like.
That's why as Shay knows, I'm a big fan of the Marvel Hornet series, and that's part of really why I like it is because you see so very little.
Right. That's the whole thing of horror. Is like it just plays on all those insecurities and fears, and it gets really like it gets into your skin. And
Also like the Lovecraftian fear of something cosmic, something far more powerful than you can even imagine.
Yeah, just seeing something that is so ridiculous that you can't imagine it, right?
I got to think about the idea. I got to think about the idea of banging goddesses. It's kind of similar.
That character you brought up once.
The whole idea is something that's all powerful and so on and so forth, but yet she's come down to earth for like one night of solid just human loving. That's what I like.
You of everyone else.
That's what I'm down for. But no, man, this horror stuff, anything I can't punch, to me is just completely no. I cannot handle that.
You can punch it; it'll just get really angry and attack.
No, you see, this is what I mean.
Fair enough.
So, actually, okay, this Slender Man thing you're talking about, is that YouTube thing that you told me about?
Yeah, Marble Hornets, a YouTube series. It's 60 entries long. They vary in length from like 45 seconds to maybe 15 minutes at the
Yeah,
longest.
Slender Man himself is like everywhere though. He's like, he's even in Minecraft now. But
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Endermen or Endermen or whatever they're called in Minecraft are based on Slenderman.
right. So like, this new Slender game is just like another chapter in the whole, the Slender Man meme,
mythos.
whatever.
The mythos it's a story told. There's no like solid story to Slenderman. It's told from a billion different places, from different web series, comics, videos, what have you. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
But and some of them are pretty. A lot of them are really crappy. Some of them are pretty good. I mean, it's all just amateur work and whatnot. But it represents the type of horror that I really enjoy. There's little to no blood, no gore, nothing. Too out there.
No, blood can work though. Like I'm not totally against gore because if someone can use gore right, it's the fucking Japanese. They know how to use gore.
But the problem is not some of them. Some of them they spam gore everywhere. It's just like torture porn basically.
Yeah, some of it's like once it gets to like the exploitation level, then you're like fuck this shit. It's not scary anymore now. I'm just like disgusting.
The problem is that sort of exploitation horror is what's become horror for most major film productions. I mean, like
I thought people were over that fad because like what's it called? Hostel came out and everyone got old.
Saw things like that. I can't stand that.
Yeah, people got into that really hardcore all of a sudden. Like, yeah, this is super gritty. Like, you wait 3 hours in the movie for nothing to happen, and then finally someone gets like a tit cut off or something.
Good lord. No, thank you.
You're always complaining about your tits.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't you like to just lop them off?
Tim, that's an awful thing to complain about.
Gonna hide under my blanket.
That's not healthy, Tim Lee. That's not a healthy way to deal with it.
Well, what's healthy to you is not healthy for me.
What did you want to talk about today, Tim Tam?
Well, I had two things I wanted to talk about. First was Game of Thrones. Purely because...
Oh, man, this is like a whole episode worth of content, right?
Yeah, I am totally digging Game of Thrones. Like, I mean, I'm only halfway through the book, well, still at the beginning, but I've watched the TV series, and it's just, like, I'm hooked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just love it. Don't care about the nudity, but, well,
yeah, that's just... the complaint I've heard about the show, is that they over-sexualize it. But that's HBO.
Yeah.
I don't think that they overdid anything. I feel like it's actually...
I hate sex. Why do they stick that in things?
I think compared to the books, like, the show is more tame, actually.
Really?
Well, that may be so, but, like, we know there's going to be sex, but we don't, like, need to see it. Like,
I mean, it's pretty graphic in the books as well. Like, I mean, if there's one thing the Song of Ice and Fire series has throughout every single novel, is at least 50,000 villagers get raped every single time.
Oh yeah, that's true. They never describe it really. They mention that it happened, but there's no detail to it really.
Sometimes there is. Like there's later on there's like a detailed account of how like who's Gregor's like older brother who's like a giant beast or whatever. There's a story about where him and his men like rape like some 13-year-old and like kill her brother, and then like they pay the father like 3 gold for the price. Like,
actually, that's just the part I read in the second book. I'm about halfway through the second book. I just graduated college, so like I finally have time to read for entertainment now.
And like it doesn't feel out of place either, because especially in that time period, like have a warring period where like law is a very big thing.
That's what I'm getting at. Like that's fine. Like we know that's what's happening, but I
think
I want to see more of the story. Like I just want to hurry up. I want to get. No,
the thing is with Song of Ice and Fire, you can't hurry anything up. Because from book 1 to book 5, it feels like you're reading one long book with one slowly rising arc. So you're not going to get a lot of quick satisfaction out of the story arc.
Well, that's not what I'm getting at. It's I know there's sex, and I know there's some scenes for the sex that is absolutely crucial.
Hello, Cersei.
But the rest of it.
Hello, Australia.
Yeah. But there is some like scenes where I'm like, well, you could have just implied that.
So you're saying show the in the morning under the blankets scene.
Well,
it's like okay, everybody knows what happened.
Leading to it and just go to the next scene. I mean, I like some of it's just like, oh, okay.
Like the shoving it in your face almost. Like it's not
necessary.
Like
If
shut
I
the
want
plane
to
down,
watch,
just let them get enough.
Hey, all
don't need
right.
all-
Sex sells. That's what this. That's
Yes.
what the Shay and Wilson show is all about.
that's true. But
That's
like, if I want to
Well,
see
yeah.
sex,
Again, it's
porn,
HBO,
I'd go
so
porn.
gotta expect that.
But I want to watch the TV series. I mean, you know,
So I mean, other than the nudity and sex, what are your thoughts on the Game of Thrones as a whole? You're pretty new to the books, right? And you
yeah,
just started the series, you said?
yeah. Like I've only just started reading it because, yeah, I'm just a slow reader.
What do you think about the storytelling? Because compared to like a lot of other books, this one has tons of characters. There's not really a main character.
Yeah.
There's just billions of
Yeah.
characters who all play a profound part.
Yeah, it really is. But I like that's what I'm really enjoying. Like the fact that there's not just one sole character that we're following through. It's a whole community instead. Like we're seeing how a civilization
Hello,
rises
Australia.
and falls. We're gonna do that every time.
I could make it a thing.
Thank
We
you.
need more. We need more things on this show. You know,
Just
like
because
recurring
I
things
can't
other than our
pronounce
wangs.
like interesting topics.
Oh,
Burn.
yeah.
Did you guys watch Samurai Champloo last time? It was on my Sparkle Top 5 list.
But I don't know. As far as storytelling goes, reading the books, I've noticed that it's taken me quite a long time to read them. I mean, they're only 700, 800 pages, not only anything, but it's
They're really dense. They're really dense,
Yeah.
though.
it's taking me a long time to read them. I think it's because every chapter is such a drastic shift because every chapter is told through the perspective of a different character. Like going from a chapter told by say Theon to a chapter by Daenerys, it's like I get to the next chapter and I have to take a break because there's such a drastic sudden shift. So
There's a change in that pattern though, because there's one point where for books 4 and 5, what he actually did is book 4 focuses solely on this set of characters, and then book 5 is, instead of being chronological, it's parallel to it with a different set of characters. And then eventually book 5 overtakes book 4, but it's later on in the novel.
Oh, okay.
So that's interesting. But like
I think it was 4 and 5. It could have been some different novels in the series.
Yeah, it also depends on which character is telling me the story. Like the chapters by Jon, especially, I find really interesting. Same with Tyrion, just because he's such a scheming, conniving character.
So
I
much has
love
happened to
that
him.
character.
Whereas like chapters by like Bran take kind of forever to get through, and I'm just not interested in Daenerys at this point. I mean, I'm sure she's important later on, but so far, not
She's so hot.
I don't watch the show.
No, I'm saying in the book she's so hot. Like I was disappointed when I saw her on the show because I was like, they casted that for Daenerys. Like I was really pissed because in the book she's described as this petite, really pretty doll-like features, and like there's this fucking like duck face chick on the goddamn show. I was like, what is this shit? I know she has tons of fans. I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but I'm not a fan of her at all on the show. Like a lot of the casting I hated.
Well, I'm a fan of the character, but not so much. I think she's pretty, but yeah, as you said, she has a duck face.
And as a character, even the books, like she does a lot of things where like you can't decide if you like her or not. Because she'll do something like really weird and despicable, and like another time she'll be just like, kind of cute and act like an actual girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of growing up, because isn't she really like she is really young in the books, isn't she? Like
I think she's like 13-ish.
She's 14.
Okay.
yeah. So like you've got to give some leeway to that.
To be that old and getting plowed by a horse king every day.
Oh man, that like whole section, I was like, whoa. Sorry.
This show just took a turn that has never taken before. We're now admiring men.
He is really
I've been
attractive,
admiring
that
you this whole
actor.
time, Shay.
Oh.
Why is it
Horse
plural,
king.
Wilson? Why is it plural? So yeah,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. You want anything else you want to close on that before we move on?
No, like just the guy who plays Khal Drogo.
Mhm.
Oh, so hot.
Most
So
of
I
the
need
casting
to-
I didn't like. I felt like Ned Stark was spot on. I feel like Sansa was a
Yeah.
real letdown because she was supposed to be hot as hell in my head. Also, Catherine Stark was hot
Yeah.
as shit in my head. So what the fuck was up with that, you guys? Like seriously, HBO? Seriously?
Yeah.
I've kind of gone out of my way so I don't get exposed to the show. I've seen there's a gif of Arya, Goku's Arya dancing, and this is the picture of Ned that everyone's seen. Winter is coming picture.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, everyone sees that picture though.
Ned,
Arya and Braun worked out.
Yeah.
They worked.
Ned,
yeah.
yeah, Ned is exactly how I pictured him. And Arya, I don't really care, but I don't like to see
Even when I was reading the books, like in my head, Boromir was Ned, and like I saw the show, I was like, yep, of course, Boromir's Ned. And actually, with Tyrion's actor, like I don't know his name, but he's exactly who I imagined playing Tyrion.
Yeah, actually,
I love
true.
him.
I
recognize him from somewhere else.
Yeah,
30
he
Rock.
was
He's in
in-
30 Rock a few times.
Oh, that
Yeah,
might be.
he was also in Death at a Funeral, I believe. But I love that character. There's just something I just love it. I'm like,
Right, like when you first meet him, like there's that scene where he's the shortest man there. He's like, always teased, but then Jon sees his shadow, and his shadow's like as tall as a king, and I was like, oh man.
It's great. That for the moment is the scene that made both Tyrion and Jon for me, and from that point on, they've been my favorite characters.
Yeah, Jon's he's a total badass, man. He's a G.
I love
She's an action hero.
Actually, like the thing with Jon, like I generally like Catherine Stark a lot, but whenever it comes to Jon, I'm like, God, what a bitch.
Yeah,
What
she
a bitch.
treats him horribly. Okay, I thought we were gonna end this discussion.
Yeah, so okay, look, Ned bangs someone else. Don't blame it on the kid. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm kind of pissed that. Oh, I guess I can't talk about it too much because you guys aren't as far.